It's been a while since I've made a video, but I just wanted to come back and just wrap up this acne series that I've been doing. If you haven't seen the other videos, I'll link them down below and in the cards above. This is just going to wrap up the journey of how I healed my adult acne naturally. So I'm just going to cover a couple of lifestyle changes that I made, you know, besides the diet and the products that I used. So hopefully you enjoy it and it's beneficial. You often hear about water and how you need to drink water all the time. Every video about skincare and health in general tells you about drinking water. And I must be honest, it really has some value. So I know you've heard this a million times, but you need to increase your water intake. Generally, you hear that you need to drink about 8 glasses of water a day. I found something that was a bit more accurate because 8 glasses doesn't suit everyone. It depends on, you know, what you do, your weight, how much water you need every day. So a general rule that I found that worked quite well was it was 1 ounce per pound of body weight. So for the South Africans, that worked out to your body weight in kilograms times 0.033. So for instance, a person weighing about 50 kilograms would need to drink about 1.65 liters a day, so just over 1.5 liters a day. Obviously, if you're a bit more active, you need to drink more. Breastfeeding moms like I aim for at least 3 liters or 2 to 3 liters of water a day. It also depends. Winter I drink a bit less water. Summer I drink a bit more when it's hot, when I'm exercising, when you spend some time outside in the sun, I tend to get a bit more thirsty. So a good rule is to follow this and then just adjust it according to your lifestyle if you need more. You know, I once worked at an expo, a health expo, and I was just helping out. At the time, I hardly knew anything about health. I mean, I was very new to it, and someone came to the little table and they were talking about their lifestyle, and the subject of water came up, and she said something along the lines of, well, I drink a lot of fruit juice. I don't know if she meant like pure freshly squeezed fruit juice or whatever the case may be, but the person that I was standing with said something really profound, and it's always stuck with me. I mean, this was years ago. She said to her, you know, you wouldn't wash your dishes in fruit juice, would you? And obviously the lady said, of course not. So then she said, well, why are you trying to wash the inside of your body with fruit juice? And that really stuck with me. I mean, you can drink lots of liquid, but that liquid isn't cleansing, and your body needs water to clean itself out. Then with regards to the water, I abstain from drinking water at least an hour before and after a meal because it inhibits the digestion, or it sort of messes with your digestion and it dilutes your stomach acid. So I avoid drinking water. I mean, if I'm super thirsty and I'd been bad with water, I'd have a sip or two, but I really try to avoid consuming liquids right before my meal or right after my meal or even with my meal. And I know that's really against a popular culture because you always drink while you eat. In a restaurant, they offer you drinks before you order, and they offer you drinks while you're eating. Afterwards, people will have a milkshake or something like that. So it does really go against popular culture, but I have found it makes a huge difference when I do that. The next one I want to talk about just briefly is medication. So obviously this is not medical advice, but it's something that I did. And I stopped all over-the-counter medication, and I'm not on any prescription medication. I wasn't on any prescription medication besides my hormonal pill, which I've already talked about in a previous video. After I gave that up, I was on no other prescription medication. So I went off all over-the-counter medication. So when I had a headache, I didn't take any headache tablets. When I had pain, I didn't take any pain pills, nausea, anything that I would normally take. Even for sinus, sometimes I would take a pill. I stopped taking all over-the-counter pills to just really get my body to detox. I still don't take any medication. I've had, I think, 1 headache tablet in the last more than 2 years, and that was when I had a really severe headache, and I needed to go about my day, and it just wasn't going away. I think it had lasted for like 2 or 3 days, and I just couldn't anymore. But other than that, I haven't really had any prescription or over-the-counter medication, and I really think that it's quite vital to get rid of that stuff, you know, so that you're not adding more toxins into your body. But like I said, it's not medical advice. Obviously you need to do what works for you, but getting off all that stuff is definitely what worked for me. Then, you know, talking about medication, I'll quickly touch on supplements. So I wasn't ever really taking anything super consistently, except vitamin B12, because I found that they found that I had a leaky gut, and because of that I was struggling with my B12. It wasn't absorbing properly, so despite taking lots of B12, I was still coming up a little bit deficient in the B12. Not super deficient, but enough to be aware to consistently take my B12. So that was the only thing that I took consistently. Then I took something called leaky gut powder for 3 months, with D3 for 3 months, because they found that I was a bit low on my D3 and because of the leaky gut. So there are other ways of treating leaky gut that I learned about now. I'm not going to get too much into that. I mean, if that's another issue completely. But doing the other things that I've mentioned, you know, these lifestyle changes will help with leaky gut anyway. If you want to know more about the leaky gut product and what is in it, we'll try and link it below just so you can have a look at the ingredients. And then just ordinary D3 supplementation I took. Inconsistently, I would take zinc and selenium. I would take vitamin C, vitamin A. The vitamin A didn't really make a huge difference for me, and because it's a vitamin that you have to be really careful with and not to overdo, I decided to rather not take that. So I took, I think, 1 course of it. When I say 1 course, like I finished 1 bottle, but it took me a long time to finish it, and I didn't replace that because I'm very wary of vitamin A. I'm not so worried about the vitamins that are water soluble, like the vitamin C and the vitamin B's and those sort of things. So I also took B complex, and which I'm still taking now. I find that it's very helpful, not just to balance your body, but it helps with stress, it helps with a whole bunch of things. But I do recommend, you know, getting tested. I did go for tests back when I was struggling with acne, and also now recently, to check which areas, because I mean, you could be taking B vitamins and it's doing absolutely nothing for you because you don't lack any B vitamins, or maybe lack something else. So it is always wise to, you know, get your blood work done and even have a naturopath look at your results. That's what I had done recently, and everything seemed pretty good, but I still have decided to take the vitamin B's, and whatever my body doesn't need, it will just flush out because it's water soluble. Then other things that I took and still regularly do take is dandelion and milk thistle, both in tablet form, but I also found the tea. So you can I take the tea, and also I sometimes just blend that tea up into my smoothie without making it into a tea. So I just put the dry dandelion or the dry milk thistle powder into my tea. So stinging nettle is another one that I added. Dandelion and milk thistle are really good for liver cleansing, so that is why I added those, because I needed to help, you know, my liver, and it really helps liver function. So that's why I added that. I would often take organic flaxseed or just ordinary flaxseed, you know, drink it to get your omegas, and it also just helps flush the system out. Charcoal and diatomaceous earth as well, just to help with any parasites. And whenever I wasn't feeling too great, or still now when I don't feel too great, I'll take some charcoal. And another thing that I took for 3 months when I was taking the leaky gut powder and the D3 was probiotics every morning and every night. And that I found was quite important because obviously I had a messed up gut from a whole bunch of things that I'd been doing. So that is sort of where my supplements and medication falls in. Okay, the next thing I want to touch on quickly is detoxes. So I know there are tons of detoxes. There are colon cleansers and all kinds of things. I'm all for that, but at the time, all I managed to do was a parasite cleanse a day before I did a liver cleanse. So the parasite cleanse was, I think it's 100 grams of pumpkin seeds. I'll try to find something similar and link it down below. but I'm sure some of you have heard of the liver cleanse. So before you do the liver cleanse, you have to get rid of the parasites, and pumpkin seeds, believe it or not, get rid of intestinal parasites. So I did 100 grams of pumpkin seeds a day or two before I started the liver cleanse. And it doesn't sound, it's not as easy as it sounds. It's quite difficult to take in 100 grams of pumpkin seeds. I also, obviously with the dandelion and the milk thistle, just giving the liver a bit of support before I did the liver detox. Then that I did the liver detox. I think I managed to do it twice within 1 year. That sort of helped a lot to take some of the burden off of my liver. But I'll try and link some more videos that go into more depth about the detoxes. But with regards to detoxing, that's pretty much all that I did. Then something else I want to talk about that's really important that I think our modern society takes for granted, and that is sleep. I can't stress it enough. You have to rest, otherwise your body can't repair. So I made sure that I was in bed before 9 o'clock every night. Those 2 hours are very vital for your body to rest and repair, and hormone balance and all of that stuff is done in that period. And you need to be asleep before that time for that sort of period to kick in. So 9 was like my bedtime. I mean, I go to bed early anyway, but 9:30 is like really pushing it. And then I'd rather get up early in the morning than go to bed late at night. Then go to bed late at night. Go to bed early, wake up early. That is sort of what I live by, and it really made a huge difference because I was a lot more productive, and when I woke up in the morning, I was a bit more energized. I was able to exercise and do all my stuff. You know, before the day actually gets started, I was able to do some chores, and it just helped me, not just with my health, but overall, just feel like I'm getting stuff done. So now I still go to bed early, but my bedtime has moved even earlier because I have kids now. I try to go to bed by 8 o'clock, and then I'll wake up anytime from 3:30, 4, 5, 6, just depending on how the night went. And I feel rested after that. So I aim for about between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, depending on how exhausted I am and how much activity I've done, but generally that is sort of what I aim for. Then I'm lucky enough to be at home, so I try to let my body wake up naturally. I used to use an alarm, but I found that sometimes it would wake me in the middle of my deep sleep state, and it doesn't matter how much sleep I had gotten, I was still tired. So I decided to just try and wake up naturally, and I do that now, and my body, like I said, wakes up whatever time, depending on how well I've slept. I wake up at a certain time, you know, according to sunlight, or just if I'm feeling rested enough. Then another thing I want to mention that is quite important is I take 1 day a week to completely rest. I don't work at all. And this is following the 4th commandment in the Bible to take a Sabbath day rest. And the Sabbath day is the 7th day of the week, which is Saturday, if you look at your original calendar. So every Saturday, I just take a family day, I rest, I spend time with God. I don't do any cooking or cleaning. It's really great. It's so nice to have a reset once a week, and I look forward to it every week, you know, that I just get to just chill and be with my family. I do all my preparations on Friday so that when Saturday comes, you know, it starts on Friday night sunset to Saturday sunset, and I get to just relax. It's the best thing ever. God really knew what he was doing when he gave us the Sabbath day to rest. So whereas most people just keep going, eventually reach burnout, at least I have the 1 day a week where I get to recharge and reset and get geared up for the new week to start, and it really helps a lot. So next thing I want to quickly touch on is exercise. I don't exercise as much now, but you know, going through this process, I was aiming for 5 to 6 days a week, and I never had a specific routine. I would do a mixture of cardio, weights, running, spinning, body weight exercises, even just activity, you know, going hiking or swimming at the beach. Any activity I was quite keen for. And I tried to, like I said, try to do it 5 to 6 days a week. I wouldn't exercise really on the day that I rest, you know, on Saturday, but if we went for a long beach walk or whatever, that would be fine. The good thing about exercise is that it releases endorphins, so it helps, you know, your happy state. It makes you in a better mood, it elevates you. It helped with the self-esteem, because obviously I was dealing with issues of self-esteem with my skin, but at least I knew my body was in shape, and you just can't help it, the happy hormones, especially after running. I would just get this flood of happy emotions. It's hard to explain. Once you felt it, you know what I'm talking about. It helps your lymphatic flow, your blood flow. This is obviously all very important for getting rid of toxins and just getting the blood and nutrients around your body, oxygen. It just is overall, you know, gonna help your body, not just your acne. So besides acne and skin problems, it helps health in general. Most of the things, well, all of the things that I'm mentioning are holistic health, and that is why it's very important to not just have your problem and isolate your problem and just try and treat the problem, because it's very often the case that what you're experiencing is because there's a holistic unbalance in the body. So you need to fix everything, and all the other things start to come right by themselves. The other thing about exercise is that your body needs to sweat to release toxins. Your skin is like your biggest organ, and one of the ways your body gets rid of its rubbish is by sweating. And if you don't ever sweat, then you know, how it doesn't get rid of a lot of the toxins that it could. Yes, you can urinate, you have bowel movements, whatever, but sweating is a huge part of getting rid of toxins. So it's very important to sweat. And some people who are not able to exercise vigorously because of health reasons, there are other alternatives. You know, they do like sweat packs, and basically wrap plastic around you with your feet in hot water, basically just doing something to cause your body to sweat. But I didn't have to go that route. I was able to exercise as much as I wanted to. Okay, then the last thing I just quickly want to touch on is sunshine. Now, I know, I think I've mentioned this in a previous video, people are always telling you to keep your skin out of the sun, and I'm telling you that I did the opposite thing. So I think sun is very important for health. Okay, let's talk about the other things besides the skin issue for now. Okay, so it balances your circadian rhythm, which helps with the sleep. And if you don't get proper sleep, your body can't heal itself. So that already is one thing that is very important. You know, the sun helps to just balance everything. Then obviously you need it for vitamin D synthesis. I was taking a vitamin D supplement because I tend to be a bit low on the vitamin D side, especially during the winter months. And I am quite prone to getting the seasonal anxiety disorder or something like that. I'm not sure of the exact term, but that is always what I think of, because I feel like I always have anxiety in winter. So vitamin D synthesis, highly important. I think I mentioned also in a previous video that once you spend some time in the sun, try not to shower immediately after you've spent time in the sun, just so your body has some time to, you know, get that vitamin D synthesis going, because it uses the oils in your body to get that process going. And if you go and take a shower immediately after being in the sun, you're washing all that away, and it sort of inhibits the process just a little bit. Then the sun is super antibacterial, so it kills a lot of bacteria, and obviously that is what is causing and feeding the acne on your skin. So getting some sun, I know it sounds counterproductive, especially because you're worried about scarring and things like that, but I'm not talking about baking in the sun. Some 15 minutes in the early morning, in the early afternoon, the late afternoon, it can do wonders for your skin. I don't burn that easily, so I'm able to easily spend half an hour to an hour in the sun without having any negative side effects. But obviously, I think it depends where you live and your skin type. You've got to judge for yourself. So yeah, 15 to 60 minutes daily. And that's basically all the changes that I made. I mean, there might be minor things here and there that I tried, but nothing consistent other than what I've mentioned. And I've seen huge differences. I mean, it's years down the line, and I still have clear skin, which I never thought I was going to have. So, I mean, these principles don't only apply to acne or skin issues. It helps with everything. And I think you just got to analyze what exactly the problem is, you know, what you're facing, and what area needs improvement. I mean, you might be getting sunshine, but you might not be drinking water, or you might be eating healthy, but you aren't exercising. So I know there's room for improvement in everyone's lives. I don't do it perfectly even now still. I mean, we have time restrictions, kids, I mean, you're tired, there's so much going on. I mean, I don't even work, so I'm grateful to be at home, and I still find it difficult to manage my time to do these things. So I really do understand, but it's also a matter of priorities and prioritizing what's most important to you. And for me, my health was, and so I knew I needed to take this journey seriously. I hope that what I've shared in this acne series has been helpful. I will be making future videos, and they'll probably be a bit inconsistent. I'm not trying to make YouTube my livelihood or anything. I just want to share information with you every now and then that, you know, comes to mind, and when I get specific requests. But you're welcome to reach out to me on Instagram. Is probably the best place. I'm probably more active there than I am anywhere else. So anyway, I'll catch you again in a new video. Bye.